What happens when a neuroscientist, a coach, a speaker, and an author who studied the brain inside out still feels like something's missing? Today, I'm going to share something about how Dr. Simone Boer, an accomplished leader in personal development, found the missing piece in just 5 days with the Soul Goal Mapping Challenge. And what happened next will inspire you to rethink about what's possible for your own transformation. So let me set the scene here just for a little bit. I want to let you know Dr. Simone Boer is a very successful coach. She's a speaker and author of The Ultimate Brain Hacks. It's a newly released book this last year, and it is really, really sensational to see her impact because she is helping hundreds and hundreds of people. Yet, like many people in the personal development and leadership roles, is still looking for the next level of transformation for herself. And there's something really interesting about Simone's story that I want to share with you and highlight because there's a common gap in personal development. You see, even high achievers can feel stuck or like what they're doing really doesn't have the depth of the matter and the fulfilling experience that they're truly looking for. So they're looking for something deeper. Some know that as soul expansion, and others don't quite know how to label it that yet. But when they discover what it is that I offer, they realize how healing it is to come from the heart and the soul in accomplishing their manifestation, which we call achievement. And one of the key things that I experience a lot is I hear a lot of people say, I know that when it comes to content. But I have a motto in life. One of the things, the messages that I share the most is design your life, live your dreams. I've been sharing that message now for about 16 years. In fact, about 10 years ago, I actually bought the domain name. But it's not more content that we need necessarily. It's deeper connection and integration for the transformation. And so that leads us to really highlight the big gap in the personal development industry. And that is, like many of us, including myself, following some of the really big key industry leaders who are fantastic. But one of the challenges is that provides this gap is that it's from the stage to the masses. And while it looks good, a bit like watching a cooking show where it gets us salivating and going, that looks delicious, you can't actually eat it. And so you don't necessarily get the transformation in such a large experience. It's certainly not at the depth that you would when you're in what I call a soul pod, where facilitating a smaller group in a bespoke practice using a framework that helps people to really get the integration of that information and, as I say, apply to fly. So that really helps people to facilitate having that shift, or the holy shift, and into the expansion of really connecting with that information so it's in alignment with what it is for your vision, your values, your goals, and helps you get into fast action or move into momentum. So how did Dr. Simone Boer end up working with me? Well, it began starting her journey in my 5-day Soul Goal Mapping Challenge. And we actually met for the first time on a beautiful business cruise back in April of this year, 2025. And Simone was actually one of the many speakers who were speaking from the stage and providing incredible content. As I said, you should check out her book. And not only was she on the stage, she was also one of the mentors that did what's called the round table days or the mentoring groups. And there was many of them, including myself, for the hundreds of people who were on this amazing cruise. And so we were in small pods delivering these little mini mentor sessions, helping people, in small groups to facilitate them and share our knowledge. Now, I did 2 of these mentoring rounds, and on the second one, which was specifically about my soul goal mapping, I actually had the pleasure of having Dr. Simone Boer sit in my group with a completely open heart, wanting to learn from the experience. And from that, she had an incredible shift immediately because I did a process with the group and facilitated that. And for her feedback to me was that she resonated with the language that I was using, as well as my life experience. She recognized, you've got a breadth of life experience that I don't yet have that I can learn from. And so from that, she decided to join the next 5-day soul goal mapping challenge, and everything shifted. So what she came in looking for, she wasn't really sure. She just knew that she wanted to be able to connect more with her soul, have more of a fulfilling experience. And she wasn't quite sure what that looked like, which is very common for people who come into the experience of the soul goal mapping challenge. And I'm going to explain this because most people don't have a mental construct, a framework, or what they call a schema that has the experience of what I offer, because I bring a whole level of energetics and consciousness levels, as well as practical magic, as I like to call it, practical magic, with the framework that I teach you in soul goal mapping in the challenge over 5 days. And during this experience, I really help look at the energetics, how to look what the specific blockages are, how to clear them, and then how to set your goals in a soul-aligned way instead of the ego, and then using that combination to move forward to get into massive momentum. So some of the key shifts that Simone had in those first 5 days, they included having this reconnection with herself. And in her own words, if I may, I'm just going to read them. She says, the Soul Goal Mapping Challenge was one of the most powerful, recharging and energetically aligned experiences that I've had in a while. The space that Katie created in a week was deeply experiential, beautifully held, and profoundly professional, with thought and intention woven through every part of the journey. I found myself so immersed in the process that I rearranged my schedule just to keep up, and it was absolutely worth it. I recommend this challenge to anyone wanting to step into a more aligned version of themselves. You'll get that and more. Hey, thanks, Simone. That was really a real pleasure. And it's just been fun to take you through. And so if you're listening to this as well, to Dr. Simone's words, then just know, or even ask what might be possible for yourself, because I want to let you know that there is incredible opportunities and what I call portals of possibilities that open up when you make that commitment to give yourself the gift of that time to really focus on what it is you truly want in a soul-aligned way. And then looking at and identifying what could be possibly blocking it and how to dissolve it so you can move forward. And as a result of this 5-day Soul Goal Mapping Challenge, the invitation is there for those who are ready, willing, and committed to step into a deeper soul pod, as I call it, where I do the facilitation in a small group that helps you have this incredible, deep, transformative experience, turning the I know that into I'm living it, so that you don't just have information, you have transformation. And having these deep, immersive pods where you have this rapid transformation is really profound. And the key reasons why I'm going to share with you, because some of the biggest ahas that Dr. Simone Boer shared with me are really profound, especially because she has deep knowledge in this herself. So again, I'm just going to refer to her own words where she has shared with me there were several aha moments in the Awakened Soul program, from understanding and identifying narcissistic behaviors in my own life to gaining deeper insights with soul safety and nervous system safety. Although I was aware of some of these concepts before, Katie brought them into the spotlight in a whole new way. A major shift for me was the ongoing realization that bringing my whole self, my whole presence into any room is enough. And that alone is my soul essence. So Dr. Simone Boer did the 5-day Soul Goal Mapping Challenge and then stepped into the invitation and to receive that gift for herself. One of the big key things that she shared with me is she said because the offer was a no-brainer, incredible value for what's provided. And she's doubled down on that with her experience, having finished that in the last 6 weeks. In fact, she's actually stepped into my second tier program called the Soul Goal Academy. But here's what's changed for her since then. That soul alignment has done a couple of key things. Energetically, let her go deeper into recognizing some of the patterns within herself that can make the shifts in business in the way that she's communicating her message, her offer, and even the invitation for selling. You know, a lot of people, particularly in business and women, have some really big difficult blockages around sales. Really fantastic to technically deliver content, to provide value, but then when it comes to the sales, it kind of feels a bit slimy and a bit weird and a bit segmented and a bit pushed off out there. And so it feels disjointed and it doesn't feel comfortable, and it's almost something that you want to kind of avoid. Well, one of the things I've done with Simone is taken her through some energetics to shift the whole energy around sales, to do two key things. One is to introduce the invitation. I really should have shared that as the first one. So switching sales, the idea of sales, into the idea of inviting people. So you haven't got the attachment to the outcome of selling something and then fearing that you're going to be rejected. Instead, it's just being non-attached, knowing what your offer is and who it's for, and then inviting them, because the energy that you resonate is very different than if you go into a sales mode and you're already feeling ick. You're just going to transfer that ick factor. But when you go into an invitation, it's like having a party. You're really excited, and it's a privilege to receive an invite to that, right? And so that energy shift has created quite a significant shift in her in these recent weeks. But also, I just want to celebrate Simone, because she's totally done some amazing work. And I know that some of the work from the Awakened Soul program has contributed to the energetics and the practicalities, but I want to celebrate her because recently I know she held a physical workshop and enrolled over 73 people for the enrollment, and then had 60 people show up to this live event. It's a physical event, and those statistics are really profound. So that goes to show the power of what she's doing and how awesome she is. And so one of the key things, though, that around that is there's a few key energetic moments throughout that experience that, the rest of it was amazing, but there was a few key ones that were a little bit sticky and icky. And her harnessing and mastering her energy had the confidence to speak out, set boundaries, and then also relook at the way that she's delivering to be able to go, oh, I get it how I can improve it right from the beginning with this invitation for the sales, and using permission instead of rejection, through rejection of self first, and then that transferring through this concept of slimy sales. And look, that's a common pattern. A lot of people have that. So but I really enjoy sharing these transfer of habits and how you speak, communicate, and connect with people, so you can convert the right people who are ready, willing, and committed. And for the others who aren't, that's okay too. They still can be quite good fans in your circle, or refer people to you as well. The other key benefit too about doing the Awakened Soul program is that it's a focus on a holistic view. So it's not just about succeeding at a goal. It's about looking at that goal in alignment with your core vision, values, and goals, and looking at the holistic viewpoint. How does that affect your family? How does it affect your health? How does it affect all the areas in your life, not just your business or your career or your financial goal? So one of the things that I do is make sure that there is an energetic alignment, and then the steps that you're stepping forward with have got harmony and ease with all the other elements. They're not in conflict. Otherwise, you're going to end up being stuck or sabotage, or you're just not even going to start. So if you've been searching, despite having done all the work, it might not be more information that you need, but rather integration. And so therefore, I'm inviting you to take a step like Simone did and join us for the next 5-day Soul Goal Mapping Challenge. If you're ready for your own big breakthroughs, then join us for the VIP in the Soul Goal Mapping Challenge. It's where the real shifts begin, and it gives you a very real experience of the 6-week immersion in the Awakened Soul program, just over 5 short days. So if you'd like to take that action now for yourself and get on the waitlist, just click the link down below in the show notes and let us know. Make sure you click the checkbox on the form for the VIP to be notified for one of the limited spots. There is no obligation to connect. It's not open yet, but it will give you first notice to be able to take that option for yourself if you choose to join us. I hope to see you in there. It's a whole lot of fun. We're running the next round later in the year in September for 2025, but we run it 2-3 times a year. But don't wait. If you feel the nudge from your soul right now, then get on that list and get ready to join us in the next round, because it will really, truly give you the breakthrough that you're looking for. With lots of love, light, and manifesting miracles, magic, and more. I'll see you in the next episode. And please, if you've enjoyed this, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you gained the value of the most about this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.